I reheated that fish 3 times. Third time I just turned the stove off and left it there, lid half on, and went and sat back down at the table like the food might still come back to life on its own. 89 years old. The name is Verlie. People hear that number, and right away they want to know if I am doing okay for my age. I tell them I am doing fine for any age. Then they get this look, not sure if they should be impressed or worried. I have stopped explaining myself to that look. My husband's name was Cornelius, 46 years. He has been gone 6 now. I am not going to spend long on that. It is not really what this is about. I will say one thing though. He used to hum when he ate, not a real song, just a sound low in his chest, like the food was good and his body wanted you to know it without him having to say so. I still catch myself listening for it sometimes when I eat alone. 46 years of a sound and then nothing, and you would think 6 years would be long enough to stop listening for it. It is not. This is about my son, Marcus. I raised him by myself most of the time. His father was not around much even before he left for good. Marcus is 41 now, got 2 kids of his own. I love him. I need you to know that before anything else, because what I am about to tell you might make that hard to believe. Back in the spring he called and said he was planning something for my birthday, somewhere warm. Said, do not worry about a thing, just leave it all to me. I had not been anywhere since the funeral. Had not had anybody say, come on, let us go somewhere. You deserve this. So when he said that, I sat down at my kitchen table and cried a little. The happy kind. Forgot that kind even existed. He called again a few weeks later. Said he needed my card number to hold the reservations before prices went up. I hesitated. Just for a second. The kind of second you do not notice until you look back at it later and wonder why you did not stay in it longer, taters. But it was Marcus, so I gave it to him. Months went by. Every time I asked, there was a reason. Dates not confirmed. Resort holding the room. Be patient, Mama. I bought a new dress. Yellow with little buttons up the front. The kind you have to do one at a time, and they never quite line up right the first try. Had not bought myself anything in 2 years. Bought sandals to match. Gold ones. Set them by the front door so I would see them every time I walked past. Moved them twice, actually. Once because they were in the way of the door swinging open. Once just because I wanted to look at them from a different angle. 2 days before my birthday he called. Said the trip got pushed back. Scheduling. We will do it next month. Okay, baby, I said. That was the last I heard from him before my birthday. Morning of, I told myself, well, the trip is off, but surely he is coming by. Surely he is not going to let his mother's birthday go by like a Tuesday. So I cooked. Fried fish, greens, cornbread. The caramel cake he always said was the best thing he had ever eaten. Took me most of the morning. My hands are not as fast as they used to be in the kitchen, and I do not rush them anymore. I just let the morning be what it is going to be. Put on the yellow dress. The gold sandals, first time I had actually put them on my feet. Set the table with the good placemats, the ones I save for holidays. Cream-colored with the embroidered edges that are starting to fray a little at one corner. Lit 2 candles. Not because I had some big plan for candles. Just felt like the day called for it. Sat down. Waited. Every car that slowed outside, I thought, that is them. Got up twice thinking I heard a door. Reheated the fish. Reheated it again. At some point I stopped reheating it. The candles burned all the way down. Wax dripped onto the cloth, little white ridges of it, and I just watched it happen instead of getting up to stop it. I turned them off and sat in the dark a while. Did not turn the kitchen light on. Did not really decide not to. Just did not. Nobody came. Not Marcus, not his wife, not my grandbaby who calls me Grandma Verlie and runs to the door when I come by. Not a call, not a text. I sat there a long time. Then I got up, still in the yellow dress. Put the food away without really thinking about it. Just moving containers from counter to icebox. Lids not quite matched right. Did not matter. And went to bed. Did not sleep. Lay there listening to the house, do whatever a house does at night when nobody else is in it. Next morning, my neighbor Pearl knocked. She has been checking on me since Cornelius passed. Quiet about it, the way good people do. Never makes a show of it, just shows up on a Tuesday with too many tomatoes from her garden and stays 20 minutes longer than the tomatoes require. I almost did not answer that morning. Did not want her seeing my face. Let her in anyway. She looked at me and did not say anything for a second. Then she said, "What happened?" And everything came out. The trip, the card, the dress, the candles burning down to nothing on a cloth I am going to have to throw out now because the wax will not come up. She sat with me 2 hours at that same table. Did not try to fix it or explain it. Just sat. At one point she got up without asking and made a pot of coffee. Found the filters in the second drawer like she had done it 100 times, though she had not. Before she left, she said, "Verlie, I want you to call your bank this week. Ask them to go through everything with you, line by line." I asked her why. She just said, "Please, will you do that for me?" Monday I put on my good clothes. You do not go somewhere important looking like you do not care. And drove to the branch I have used 11 years. Asked for the teller who has known my name longer than that, who always waits while I fold my receipt into my purse instead of rushing me to the next person in line. She took both my hands when she saw me, sat me down at her little desk, turned the screen so we could both see it, pulled up the account. I was not scared yet. I remember that clearly. I was thinking, this is going to be fine. I am going to feel silly for coming in here over nothing. She started scrolling, went quiet, scrolled some more, slower now. Then she stopped and pointed at the screen with the end of her pen, not her finger, like she did not want to touch the glass over it. Lines going back almost a year. Something labeled with initials that kept showing up over and over, the same 2 letters. I leaned in. MJ. I said, "That might be my son." She got quiet for a second. Asked if I had ever signed anything giving him access to the account. I said no. I just gave him the card number. For emergencies, he said. She turned the screen all the way toward me. Resort charge. A jewelry store. 3 transfers. Straight to a personal account. Same amount each time. Like clockwork. She said the total came to just over $19,000. I sat with that number for longer than felt normal. I have never had $19,000 all in one place in my whole life. And to hear it had been leaving, a little at a time, almost every month, while I was setting out gold sandals and crying happy tears at my own kitchen table. I did not say anything. There was not really anything to say yet. She put her hand over mine on the desk, said there is a name for this, elder financial exploitation, said she had flagged the account 2 months before, had a little note sitting in the system the whole time, waiting for me to come back in person. 2 months. I had been in twice since then, cashed a check, smiled at her, walked right past whatever that note said. I felt foolish sitting there. She told me to stop, said this is not about you being foolish. He took your trust and decided what to do with it on his own, and those are 2 completely different things. I did not believe her yet. Not all the way. They brought in someone from a senior protection team. Older man, reading glasses on a little chain, moved slow and did not rush anything, which I was grateful for, even though I could not have told you why right then. He had the statements printed out, actual paper, and he went through every line with a pen, circling as he talked. This one is a resort charge. This one is the jewelry store. These three here, see how they line up? Same day each month. Went straight to a personal account. I kept thinking there is some mistake. He set his pen down flat on the page, lined up with the edge, and said, "In my experience, the hardest part of this is that the person it is hardest to believe is the one closest to you." I said I did not want my son in trouble. He looked at me for a second, then slid the folder a few inches closer to me on the desk, like he wanted it nearer to me when he said the next part. He said, "Ma'am, your son is already in trouble. What we are deciding right now is whether you want to protect what is left." I looked at that folder sitting there in front of me, closer than it had been a second ago, and I said, "Do what needs to be done." It took them under an hour. Froze the access. New card, new login. He wrote the new numbers down on a sticky note by hand and pressed it flat onto the inside cover of the folder with his thumb before handing it to me. I put the whole thing in my purse, right next to my receipts. He called that evening. I was heating up the same birthday food, still in its containers from 2 nights before, foil still creased the way I had folded it. Watched his name light up on the phone, sitting face up on the counter. Let it ring. The food started to bubble on the stove. Let it ring some more. A text came through 20 minutes later. "Why is my card getting declined?" Not "how are you?" Not "happy birthday, Mama. I am sorry I missed it." Just, "Why is my card getting declined?" I ate dinner alone at that table again. Same food. Tasted the same as it had 2 nights before. Maybe a little flatter. Cold in the middle no matter how long I left it on the stove. I ate it anyway because a person has to eat something, and there is no sense letting good cornbread go to waste over a phone call. He called twice more that night. I let both go to nothing, watching the phone light the counter up and then go dark again each time. There was a voicemail in the morning. "Something is wrong with the account. Call me back. This is important." This is important. Not "Mama, I miss you." Not "Mama, I have been thinking about what I did." Just, "This is important," because something he was using had stopped working. I deleted it. Stood there afterward with my thumb still over the screen for a second, like I expected it to do something else. A young woman from a legal aid office came to the house a few days later. Sat at my kitchen table with a yellow legal pad. Asked questions for close to an hour, writing it all down in handwriting, too small for me to read upside down even though I tried once or twice. Near the end, she put her pen down across the pad, set it there deliberately, and asked if I had a will. I said yes. 15 years old. Everything to Marcus. She asked if it had been updated since. I said no. She pulled one sheet out from under the others and turned it so it faced me, tapped one line near the bottom with her finger and held it there. She said, "This is the part that matters right now. If something happens to you, and Marcus is still the only name on this page, and there is ever a disagreement about what you actually wanted, the law does not always know the difference between someone who earned what is written here and someone who simply has their name on it." She kept her finger on that line the whole time she said it. I asked what I could do. She said, "Update the will. Update the life insurance separately. That one does not even go through probate." Said I did not have to decide that day. That night I sat on the porch in Cornelius's old chair, the wicker one with the arms going soft, blanket around my shoulders even though it was not cold. Warm night, the kind that smells like cut grass and something sweet you cannot quite name. Cornelius used to love nights like that. We would sit out there and not even talk most of the time, just listen to whatever the street wanted to do. I thought about Marcus's name sitting alone on that page upstairs in a drawer. All the years I worked and saved and went without so there would be something written down at all. And I thought about him somewhere on a beach my money paid for, a drink sweating in his hand, on the very day I sat at a dark table by myself with the wax dripping onto a cloth I was going to have to throw away. I called the legal aid office back the next morning, said I wanted both, the will and the insurance, to go to my church instead. They have got a food pantry, a senior ministry. When I was sick 2 winters back, they brought me food every single week without my ever having to ask. Those are the people who showed up when it counted, and I wanted that written down somewhere permanent. Signed the papers on a Thursday afternoon. Notary stamped each page, one at a time, the sound of it loud in that quiet little office. Drove home and sat in the driveway a while with the engine off before I went inside. I have not spoken to Marcus since that birthday. He has called a handful of times since. Every message about the account, the card, the access being cut off. Not one asking how I am. Not one mentioning the dress or the candles or any of it. I still love him. I want that said plainly, because I know how this sounds from the outside. I love him the way a mother loves a child she raised alone and worried over for decades, fed at this same table 1,000 times, hummed to without a song the way his father used to. That part did not go anywhere. It is just not available to him as something to use anymore. I do not know if we will ever talk again. I used to sit by the window some evenings, in case a car slowed down outside that meant something. I have stopped doing that. Not all at once. Just gradually stopped noticing I was not doing it anymore. My 83rd birthday is coming up in a few months. Pearl already told me we are doing something. Said she was not asking, she was telling. I laughed when she said it. First real laugh I had had in a while, the kind that takes you a little by surprise on your own face. I have been thinking small lately. The market on Saturdays, getting back to choir, which I let slide for longer than I meant to. Learning the video call thing on my phone so I can see Pearl's face when we talk, even on the days she is not next door. I still talk to Cornelius sometimes when the house gets too quiet. I am 89. I have earned the right to talk to an empty room if I want to. The gold sandals are still by the front door. Never got worn again after that one day. I use them to hold the mail now. Whatever comes in through the slot, I drop it right into the toe of the left one until I get around to going through it. Bills mostly. The occasional card. Seemed ashamed to just put them away in a closet somewhere, after they had waited by that door so patiently for a day that never quite turned out the way either of us expected.